got into Tokay geckos because I've always loved Tokay geckos. They're not seen very often because they have a horrible reputation of being savage monsters that love to bite, and they often do. I've developed a couple of opinions on that. There's no science behind it yet, but I think that males are far more savage than females, and there's a good reason for that. Males stay in the territory, they protect their females, they protect their eggs, and they protect their young. So they're going to be more aggressive, is my theory on this. Again, no science behind it, except that with this pair that I got a hold of, we have Mama, and I can reach right in and pick her up with nothing but a slight bit of escape mode. And she's very handleable and sweet and lets me touch her head. And she's been like this from day one.
Did you get her captive bred?
I did not get her captive bred. I don't know where her original origin was from. She came to me, she was pretty tame. She was about half this size. She was about the size of the baby that I've got in the orange container. And, you know, she snapped a couple of times when she was brand new because new environment. She was defensive. But it literally, I had her out and was handling her within the week with no problems at all. I don't handle her a lot, and you can see how tame she's stayed. So they hold on to it. They're very intelligent. You know, they're very alert. They watch everything that's going on, and they learn. She learned that I was not a threat, so she doesn't even attempt to bite anymore. She also really learned that that kind of thing wasn't going to work. Now, there we go. So let's get this on video. There's Dad, right? And I can handle him. I prefer not to. He was a wild caught from Florida that I got from somebody else. He was very thin. I couldn't get him to eat for about 3 months. I took him in, every month? Going, there's something wrong with him, there's something wrong with him. I finally got a stool sample from him. He was loaded with pinworms. So we treated the pinworms. While I was treating the pinworms, I noticed that he had a little bit of a click. It was argued that he was just barking at me, but this guy does not click when he barks at you, he yells at you. So I requested that he be treated for a respiratory infection. We got a week into treatment and he started eating. So that's how important treating respiratory infections in new wild-caught animals can be. It's, let's see if I can get him out. No? All right, I get it. You're upset. You just went for a car ride.
We little babies.
So they've laid, I don't know, there's 15 or 20 eggs.
In there?
Yeah, not in no. They have a different piece of wood that she's been laying them under, and the cork bark is aligned so that they face out and they can watch that spot. And what I've noticed is that just before I get a hatch, they both come out and start circulating around the eggs. And I think a lot like birds and gators, I think they're hearing peeping. And I think they're coming out because then after they hatch, I see them actually traveling around their enclosure with Mom. Dad stays in his tube, you know, but so I think I've read that there's some parental care, but the ones that I haven't gotten out of the enclosure have disappeared. So I think that it only lasts for a period of time. I don't think it's really long term. I was led to believe through what I've read that it was longer term.
I've been told the females are very big about parental care, but the males don't eat around.
That's what I'm seeing, is that Mom is the one that's taking them out and showing them the rounds and getting them feeding and stuff, and Dad's staying in his little cave. Yeah. But that I didn't read anything to that effect, but that is what I'm gathering. Now I'm just pulling them when I see them, because if one or the other is eating them, I don't really want them to. So I have 3 little babies here. I have 2 running loose somewhere in my house. One of them I know went into the wall, which is really sad because My house is not really well heated. I tend to stick with temperate reptiles because of that. But I have a special setup for these. These guys are housed in basically a 55-gallon tank with a screen lid that is partially covered with glass, with 2 ceramic heaters and 4 fluorescent tubes over the top, fully planted, bio substrate, and they've been doing really, really well with that. So these are the little jumpy babies. I'm going to pass them around, but be gentle because we're trying to keep them very calm and positive. And don't open the lid because they're really fast, really super fast. You'll notice one of them has a missing tail, and that's because it got away from me, and in trying to get it, it dropped its tail. So
little babies.
Yeah. So, and what I do with these when I first get them is I put them into this container with just a little bit of paper towel or toilet paper or whatever, white substrate, so that I can watch their droppings, keep an eye on what they're eating. They eat right from the start. Like literally the day they hatch, they're out hunting. So they've been eating dubia and lobster roaches and the occasional termite, winged termite or moth or whatever that I can find. Yeah, but they're monsters right out of the egg. They're open mouth, barking at you from the start. It's really, and this is my first, and she was a preemie. I found her hanging from her umbilicus over the pool of water, and she has a little bit of a, if you can catch the eye difference, there, and then there. I don't know what that's about, but I suspect that there was a developmental issue.
She's like David Bowie.
She has one dark eye and she has one gold eye.
It is trippy, but it doesn't want to focus. Oh, there we go.
Because she was a preemie, she spent 2 weeks before she ate, 2 weeks before she shed, and she never learned to be afraid or anything, so she's just the sweetest thing in the whole world. Sweeter than a leopard.